Hi and hello friends, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Kay and this is my 26 and 2026 TBR. So I kind of split my 26 and 2026 TBR into a little bit different of a way. So 20 of these books are coming from my physical TBR and 6 are coming from my digital TBR. And within the physical TBR, I also have a couple of categories. I am pulling from books that I fear I'm going to love, so I'm putting them off because I'm me. Arcs that I was sent and then just never got to before they published. Put on multiple TBRs from last year and priority sequels. And yes, some of these are going to be a repeat of my previous years because it's fine. It's whatever. I'm going to read them. Mark my words. But I am really excited because some of these are brand new and I've never had a chance to talk about before. So without further ado, let's jump on into it. So I kind of just pulled these and they are all over the place. These two are from previous TBRs. I have Gilded and I have Trust of the Emerald Sea. I've been told multiple times I'm going to love both of these books. So I am putting them off. They have been on multiple TBRs. They kind of are all over the place. And just because there are so many books to get through and I am on a bit of a time crunch for filming, I'm not going to go too far in depth into these, but I do want to tell you why I want to read them. So Gilded is the last of Marissa Meyer's books I need to read, and this is a Rumpelstiltskin retelling. Say less. The Queen of Fairy Tales and Rumpelstiltskin, sign me up. I want to read this. As for Chess, this is Brandy Sandy's kind of fantasy romance leaning book. In the Cosmere, it's a secret project. It would be my first adult by him. And to be quite frank, all I needed to know is that there is like a Sea of Spores. It's kind of a pirate quest. There's romance at the center, and I think I'm going to really love it. Plus, Brandon Sanderson is iconic for a reason, and I'm really hoping that I'm going to love this one. Hence why it's on my category of I think I'm going to love it, so I'm putting it off. We have some arcs that I received before they got published and never got to. The first of these is Junie, and this was luckily an Aardvark pick. And this is about a girl from the Civil War era who can see ghosts. And honestly, that's as far as I got in the description before my history-loving heart snatched it on up. It's a young girl must face a life-altering decision after awakening her sister's ghost, navigating truths about love, friendship, and power as the Civil War looms. Honestly, that's all I want to know. That's all I want to go into this with. I think I am going to absolutely love this though. And as for A Forgery of Roses, I actually won a giveaway a couple years back, so I have the physical art down there. So this is about a girl whose portraits can alter people's real life looks. And I think someone discovers her abilities and threatens to expose her, but and she's now being blackmailed into painting a portrait that's going to resurrect the governor's dead son. And as she is coming to paint this portrait, she's learning that his death was no accident. So she is pulled into this murder mystery, figuring out what's going on. And I just love the idea of an artist whose portraits can alter real life looks. That just sounds like a really fascinating take. And I am really hoping I'm going to love this. Now, for this one, I was able to find it at Chamblin's, that amazing, wonderful warehouse bookstore in Jacksonville. And it is Bright Ruined Things. And this is kind of an interesting take for me because I think it was compared to The Great Gatsby. I don't know. The cover gives me Great Gatsby vibes, which is an odd choice for me in general. But in this book, and it published a couple of years ago, but in this book, she is on a island, and there is magic that is controlled by one of the head families. And I think when she turns 18, she has to leave this island. And there's also some spirit stuff. And to be completely honest, this just grabbed my attention, and I'm really hoping I'm gonna love it. I love like historical fantasy books. And this one, it sounds like it's going to be a pretty fun time. I know that kind of synopsis was all over the place, but like I said, I'm just telling you why I grabbed them. And one of the other arcs, this was not entirely my fault. I was sent this pretty much the day it published, but it is from Allison Stoner, and one of the coolest book review moments of my life is when I posted this on my story, and she actually replied to it. Like, as I was growing up, Allison Stoner was in Camp Rock, Phineas on Ferb, and honestly, I know this is probably going to be really a sad, heartbreaking memoir because I actually have started this already, go me, on audio. So she's reading it, which is how I want to consume this story. And honestly, I think she spent about 6 minutes on trigger warnings and content warnings, and I know this book is going to be extremely sad and eye-opening, and I feel like we are getting exposed to a lot of the dark side of Hollywood, as we should be. Honestly, I just want to learn more about her life. I want to see what she went through while I was enjoying my childhood favorite shows of hers. And honestly, not much else to say on it, but I am super excited that I am going to get to read this for her finally. Now, let's see. It looks like a lot of these are, some of these are sequels, so we're going to go with that. When I read Threads That Bind on audio, I absolutely loved it, and I immediately got the sequel from Fairy Loot. So we have this Gorgiana. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Honestly, I just think these are really fun additions. And we are following descendants of Greek mythology and the fates, and our main girl here, she is able to see thread lines that link to someone. So she is able to find missing people. So she is essentially a private detective that's hired. And in the first book, she is roped into a giant murder conspiracy and going against the higher ups. And this is a big urban fantasy. And she also has a soulmate, which is a really fun dynamic. I love that romance. I need to get to it before I forget what happened. I really loved the characters. I love the storyline, and I am super excited to see what happens because this is a duology, so I can also check it off my list. And speaking of duologies to check off my list, it's kind of embarrassing I haven't read this yet. This is The Dragon's Promise, and this is one of my first years of Fairy Loot, so the editions are a little simpler, but I still really like it. And I have not seen this. Oh, yes. I have not seen this in so long. It's actually signed in person, which is kind of fun because of how much older it is. But I remember I read Six Crimson Cranes the year it published, and I highly enjoyed it. I loved, oh my gosh, I forgot her name though. Shiori. I loved Shiori's strength and determination, and I loved the romance that was going there. And it left off on kind of a cliffhanger, and we are going to, as you can see, there's dragons involved. And this was also during my Yona of the Dawn, first learning about that wonderful anime. So I love any Chinese mythology stories that involve dragons. And honestly, I remember the dragon in this reminds me of Jeha from Yona. So another reason I love this duology. And again, I can check it off my series list if I get to it. My last read of 2025 was a 5-star. I am so happy that I continued the Firebird trilogy, and this is the last one. And let me tell you, authors were cooking with their cliffhangers in the 2010s because my jaw was dropped at the ending of the last one. So I need to get to this. I just need my emotions to settle down enough to continue with this story because where that book left off, oh my gosh. So extremely thrilled to be finishing this trilogy this year. I'm so happy I got to it. It is alternate realities, a really amazing female lead, a really wholesome love triangle because the boys are like brothers to each other and they care about each other and I can never say her name. Margaret is actually best friends with one of them, and the other one is her boyfriend, and it's so good. It is such a niche series, and I cannot recommend it enough. It is definitely bridging the gap of YA and new adult, and I honestly consider this a new adult series, but I don't think that was a category they used as much back then. But it's so good. I'm going to scream that with everyone to go read it. And continuing on with the priority sequels, in books I actually got to last year, the last book in the Shadow of the Fox trilogy. As I always say, Yumiko, I love her. This has so many of my favorite like subtropes of romance. She is the light of his life trope, and we have, I can't really say anything about this without spoiling it, but super good. I want to finish it. I always pitch it as an anime I would actually like. It's kind of a ragtag group going on a quest, and I really love it. It's also Japanese mythology, so it's a fun time. I recommend it if you haven't already read it. And again, super excited to be checking another series off this next year. I am actually kicking myself because why have I put this book off so long? The first book was one of my favorite books of the year I read it, and I am talking about The Blood Orchid. The way the Scarlet Alchemist left off, I don't know how I haven't read this yet, but again, this is of course the Fairy Loot edition, so it's absolutely stunning. I have not actually looked at the end pages in here since I got the book. Oh, I'm dropping everything to read this. Ah! My girl! Oh my gosh. So Kylie Lee Baker blew up last year with her Bat Eater horror book, and I am so happy about that for her. I can't wait for Japanese Gothic this year, but I need to finish the Scarlet Alchemist duology, and I need to read The Blood Orchid because I am so intrigued to see where this goes. And if you have not heard about it yet, there is blood magic. There is, I've heard this described kind of like Full Metal Alchemist, but fantasy in an alternate China. And I love alternate history books. And there is actually some body horror in this that I remember being like jaw dropped about, because this is not a horror book, but the body horror was so there in the last book. So I cannot wait to continue and finish this duology off this year. Now, I think the rest of these are books I know I'm going to love, so I've been putting off, and books that I have put on a gajillion TBRs. And yeah, I have put this on a bunch of TBRs. This is me continuing. This is actually also a sequel, but this is the companion romances that are inspired by Disney movies. Meant to Be was the first one I read. That was Cinderella. I loved that book when I read it. And this is, as you can tell, Beauty and the Beast, Say Less. And let me refresh myself on what these tropes are. So our girl Isabel, she is in the publishing industry, and she is trying to get a promotion, be able to better climb the ranks. So she is going to this kind of isolated author who has not written or spoke to people in years. And also, I just adore this cover. I love the subtle hints to Beauty and the Beast in it. And I know I'm going to love it, so I'm going to read it. It's been on multiple TBRs. It's happening this year because I own the rest of the series. I need to get to it. Also, something that really annoys me is when the first book is released in hardcover and then the rest only published in paperback. Kind of annoying, but moving on. And speaking of being on every February and spring TBR since I got this book, when was it? 2024. Okay, so it's actually not that bad. It's been on 2. But regardless, I have the bookmark in because I know I want to read it. And people have been loving this book, even people who don't like these tropes. And frankly, I'm not always the biggest fan of this trope, and I've never actually read it before. But this is Ready or Not, and Care of a Stone. I've heard that our male love interest is the sweetest cinnamon roll golden retriever love interest. I love that. This is about a girl who has a one-night stand and gets pregnant. And our love interest is actually her best friend's brother. I think this is going to be just really wholesome and sweet, and I think I'm going to really, really enjoy it. So I need to get to it. And what about this cover just doesn't scream spring? So yeah, really, really, really hoping I get to this year. Because if not, it's going on yet another spring TBR next year, and that's just sad. Maddie, if you're watching this, just look away. Yeah, everyone and their mom has read this by now, but me. This is chunky. And my friend, she has read this. I kid you not. I think she's read this 6 times, and she has point blank told me if I don't like it, don't talk to her about it. So, I'm looking at you. This is for you. And I don't care about football at all. But I know Mariana Zapata just writes amazing slow burns. I read From the Cup of Love a couple of years ago. I think I'm going to like this. It's been on so many TBRs. I think I'm intimidated just a lot by this point. But I own it. I'm going to read it. And I'm going to finally get on my friend's good side again. Alright, so my camera battery ended up dying. I had some errands to run, but we are back to finish this TBR. And so I don't forget it again, because I forgot I had this one still hiding back there. We have What Irvin a Duke Makes, and this is a governess for hire with a single father, and she has to try to wrangle his rebellious children, and it's also forbidden because, you know, she's below his station. So, yeah, this is my brand. Here we are. This one, I forgot, I had this one also as an arc, but this is Silver in the Bone. This is Alexandra Bracken's take on a Arthurian legend, and her brother, and I know our main character in this, I don't know who it is. I haven't looked at this since I unboxed it way back when, but this art just gives me Gravity Falls vibes for whatever reason. But anyway, her brother's cursed, and now she's going to team up with her nemesis, someone she just really doesn't like, and to help her track down this Arthurian legend item to help break his curse. And I don't know, it sounds fun. I have the Fairy Loot and an arc, so I really should get to this. Then, a book that I know that everyone loves this duology, we have The Crimson Moth, or as known here, The Heartless Hunter, and I have this beautiful Fairy Loot edition. And this is about a witch and a witch hunter who are kind of playing cat and mouse with each other because her grandmother made a sacrifice so that she would not be discovered as a witch, and he is a witch hunter, And the two of them end up dating each other, or fake dating. And she's trying to get a revenge for her grandmother, and he is trying to just out her as not being what she sees. And I think she's like best friends with his brother for some reason. But I just know that everyone really loved this when it came out, and I have, ironically, Rebel Rich, Rebel Witch as a Book of the Month pick, so I'm betting on me loving this. And then this has not been around in a hot minute, but Deal with the Elf King. This is also signed by Elise Kova because she came to my local Barnes and Noble, so I have that. But this is Hades and Persephone, Beauty and the Beast vibes. He comes to take a bride every 100 years or so, and this year he has chosen her. And I've heard very, very, very mixed opinions on this, but I think I will really end up liking it. And here's to hoping I do, because I have this entire series signed by her. Then continuing on with the fantasy romance Beauty and the Beast retellings, Curse of the Wolf King. And I have not seen near, this also has a really fun fairy tale retelling series coming behind it. But I can't tell if this is a portal fantasy or not. But this Gemma ends up crossing over and being captured by a trickster fae, and he has a curse of the Wolf King. So she's going to try to help him break his curse by finding his true love, but in their forced proximity, we all know what's going to happen. And I just adore this cover. I think it's beautiful. And last but not least, for my physical TBR, is the Ornithologist Field Guide to True Love. I just think this is going to be a delight. We have rival professors. This whole series is about academia, and it's a historical fantasy rom-com that is reminiscent of Indiana Jones and some other things I don't know, but it just sounds really fun. Essentially, it's a road trip vibe to find this rare bird species that's magic. Unfortunately, this is a Book of the Month hardcover. The rest of the series is in paperback, so notice I said when, I end up loving this, I really have to figure out if I'm going to unhaul this gorgeous hardcover and so I can get the whole series in paperback, or if I'm going to mismatch it. That's a future K problem, but it's a future problem. And honestly, I'm not going to go too deep into my digital TBR, but these are the 6 books that I am wanting to get to. They are either ones I got from Stuff Your Kindle Day, books I think I'm going to really like, books that I had on KU and then they were free, whatever the reason. Hopefully I get to these because they've just been sitting on my Kindle digital shelves for far too long, and I do think I'm actually going to really like them. And with that, leave your bets in the comments on if you think I'm going to finish this. My track record's not good, but I have hope. And thank you so much for watching this video and coming around my bookish corner of the interweb. It means the world to me. If you would like to stick around, please hit that subscribe button. But until next time, I'm Kay. Bye!